The Lost Treasure in the Attic. The village of Backhausen in southern Germany had always been a quiet and unassuming place. Nestled at the edge of the Bavarian Alps, its picturesque houses with sloped roofs and flower-laden windowsills whispered stories of bygone eras. But one particular house, the abandoned Müller estate, stood out as a haunting relic of the past. Rumored to have been vacant since World War II, locals avoided the place, whispering about cursed fortunes and restless spirits. Elise, a young historian from Munich, arrived in the village one crisp autumn morning. She had inherited the Müller estate from her late grandmother, who had passed away recently and had never mentioned owning such a property. Intrigued, Elise decided to inspect the house, hoping to uncover family secrets or perhaps a glimpse into history. The house loomed ahead as she approached, its shutters hanging precariously and ivy clawing its way up the weathered facade. The front door creaked open under her touch, revealing a cloud of dust and a smell of decay. Inside, the air was thick with stillness, interrupted only by her hesitant footsteps echoing on the wooden floors. She spent hours exploring rooms cluttered with forgotten furniture, brittle photographs, and books that disintegrated at her touch. When Elise reached the attic, her heart raced. The staircase leading up to it was narrow and steep, and the trapdoor resisted her initial tug. With a final heave, the door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit space filled with cobwebs and forgotten relics. Among the discarded trunks and crates was an ornate chest, its brass hinges glinting faintly in the sunlight streaming through a cracked window. Elise knelt beside the chest, her fingers trembling as she lifted the heavy lid. Inside was a strange assortment of items, a faded journal, old coins, and a locket with an unfamiliar face. But what truly caught her eye was a rolled-up canvas tied with a crimson ribbon. Carefully, she unrolled it, revealing a painting of a woman in a flowing dress, her eyes hauntingly lifelike. Elise's breath caught in her throat. Something about the painting felt significant, though she couldn't place it. She took the items downstairs and began examining the journal. Its pages, written in a neat but faded script, chronicled the life of a man named Wilhelm Müller, her great-grandfather. Wilhelm, as it turned out, had been an art dealer during the war, tasked with safeguarding valuable paintings from being destroyed or stolen. The journal ended abruptly, hinting at a betrayal and a hidden secret. The painting, Elise discovered, bore the signature Jr. Intrigued, she reached out to her contacts in Munich's art world. Within days, she received a call from Professor Klaus Reinhardt, a renowned art historian. His voice was filled with excitement as he explained that the painting was a lost masterpiece by Johann Richter, a German painter whose works had disappeared during the Nazi regime. Professor Reinhardt insisted on meeting Elise at the house to inspect the painting in person. When he arrived, his enthusiasm was palpable. "This could be worth millions," he said, carefully examining the brushstrokes. But something about his demeanor unsettled Elise. His eyes lingered on the journal, and he seemed overly eager to take the painting to Munich. That night, Elise couldn't sleep. A nagging feeling kept her awake, and she decided to reread her great-grandfather's journal. One passage struck her. "Trust only those who see the art, not the treasure." She realized that Wilhelm had hidden the painting not for its monetary value, but for something far greater. The next morning, Elise examined the painting closely. She noticed faint marks along the edges of the canvas, almost as if it had been tampered with. Carefully, she peeled back the top layer of paint, revealing another image beneath, a map. It detailed an area in the Bavarian Alps with a marked location. Elise's curiosity overwhelmed her. She packed a bag and set out to follow the map. The trail led her deep into the mountains, where she found an old, overgrown path. After hours of hiking, she stumbled upon a small stone hut hidden among the trees. Inside, she discovered a chest identical to the one in the attic. Opening it revealed a collection of documents, photographs, and artifacts that painted a damning picture of her great-grandfather's true role during the war. While Wilhelm had indeed been an art dealer, he had also been a member of the resistance, using his position to smuggle Jews and their belongings to safety. The chest contained not only evidence of his heroic acts, but also items that had been entrusted to him for safekeeping. Among the documents was a letter addressed to Elise. Her hands shook as she read the words her great-grandfather had written decades ago. "My dear Elise, if you are reading this, it means my secret has survived the years. The painting is not merely art. It is a beacon for those who seek the truth. Guard it well, for the past must never be forgotten." Elise spent days poring over the chest's contents, piecing together a story that was both inspiring and heartbreaking. One document revealed the identity of the woman in the painting, a Jewish opera singer named Miriam, who had been saved by Wilhelm at great personal risk. Another letter detailed how Wilhelm had been betrayed by a close friend who had sought to profit from the treasures he was protecting. The betrayal had cost Wilhelm his life, Maya, but not before he had hidden the painting and the other artifacts, ensuring their safety for future generations. Elise felt a profound connection to her great-grandfather, a man she had never met, but whose courage and values now guided her own actions. As Elise absorbed the weight of her discovery, she realized that the painting's monetary value paled in comparison to its historical significance. Returning to Bockhausen, she contacted a museum dedicated to preserving the stories of the resistance. The painting and the artifacts found a new home there, ensuring that Wilhelm's legacy and the stories of those he had helped would never be lost to time. Elise stood in the museum weeks later, staring at the painting displayed under soft lights. Around her, visitors marveled at its beauty, unaware of the secrets it had once held. She felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing she had done the right thing. The treasure she had uncovered was not just a painting or a chest of artifacts. It was a story of courage, sacrifice, and the enduring power of truth. But the story didn't end there. A few months after the exhibition opened, Elise received a letter from an elderly woman in Paris. The woman introduced herself as Miriam's granddaughter, who had stumbled upon the museum's exhibit by chance. Her words conveyed gratitude and amazement at the rediscovery of her grandmother's likeness, a piece of family history she had never known existed. The two women corresponded regularly, sharing their families' stories and forging a bond that transcended time and tragedy. Elise visited Paris to meet Miriam's family, bringing with her copies of Wilhelm's journal and the documents she had discovered. Together, they uncovered more pieces of the puzzle, revealing connections and acts of kindness that had rippled through generations. Elise's journey had started with an abandoned house and an attic full of dust. It ended with a renewed sense of purpose and a network of people united by a shared history. The Miller estate, once shrouded in mystery and neglect, became a symbol of resilience and hope, a testament to the idea that even in the darkest times, humanity's light could shine through. In the years that followed, Elise continued her work as a historian, uncovering hidden stories and bringing them to light. But the story of the lost treasure in the attic remained the most personal and profound chapter of her life, a reminder that the past is never truly lost as long as there are those willing to uncover its truths.